You do realize that you can be reading your Bible and taking notes on the same screen on your Android smartphone at the same time, right? Well, if you don't know, there's this feature called floating windows, and it lets you use two apps at the same time, which is great for productivity and multitasking. And in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to enable it and use it. You should note that this feature is not available in all Android phones, but in most cases it is available to smartphones which have 4GB plus RAM. And another feature is that they need to have big screens so that this feature works. To enable the sidebar, you need to go to your phone settings application, and then here you need to search for side. Search the word side, and you should see this sidebar setting. Tap on it, toggle on this sidebar. Or if you want to go the long route, you simply need to scroll down to where you'll see the additional settings. And on this list, you should see the floating windows features, special features. Then you'll see the sidebar feature. Tap on it, and then it will take you to the same page. To activate the sidebar, you need to toggle on this feature. And on the side of my smartphone, you should see a line, which if I scroll from left to right on the edge, it should draw some apps, okay? And I can open another second window besides the one that is on the screen on top of it. Like I tap on Shazam right now, and you can see that I can use the app at the same time while I'm using the settings application. Okay. You can customize the apps that are in the drawer. You simply need to draw the apps and then scroll down to where you see the plus icon. Tap on it. Now in here, you can add the apps that you want. Maybe you want to add calculator on the sidebar, the active app in the sidebar drawer. You can tap on the plus icon on the apps on the main window. However, if you do want to minimize that, maybe I want to remove this app with the eye icon, I can minimize it, and then it will be out of my app drawer. And then click on the done after you are done. And then if I draw apps on the sidebar, you should see that there are apps that have been added. Like I can easily access the dictionary here, which I've added in the customization. And the app lets me use it while I'm using settings on the background, right? Besides opening the floating windows, you can move it around using the bar on the top. There are two bars on the floating windows. You're supposed to use the top one to move it around. I want you to long press on it, that bar, and then long press and then move around. You drag it to another position. Maybe you want it there. Maybe you want it on the bottom of your screen. It can be there, right? And that's how to navigate the floating windows. Let's say you want to remove this floating window from your screen. How do you do it? You will use the bar on the bottom part of the floating window. This one, you will long press on it, and fast enough, you need to push it very fast on top of your screen, and then it will be gone, just like that. You need to move it at a very high speed so that it is out of your screen. Okay, if you are not able to remove it from your screen, and let's say I decide to close the main window, which is the settings, there's a bubble icon that will be formed of the app that will be left on your screen. And if you want to remove that bubble, you still have to follow the same procedure. You tap on it, that bubble on your screen, and then use the bottom bar on your floating windows to move it very fast on top of your smartphone. Now you need to move your finger very fast, and then it will be gone. I will show you how to move that sidebar. Maybe it's on the left and you want it to be on the right. What you do is basically long press near it, that sidebar, and then it will bulge, and then you can move it around. You can move it to the bottom of your screen so that you can be drawing apps from there, or you can move it to the right. Just move it around. The only thing that you need to do is just long press just near it, and then it will bulge, and then move it around. And then you can be drawing apps from there. Just put it where your hand will be comfortable drawing the apps, okay? Now for me, I'll put it there because I'm a right-handed person. Now, besides the standard normal size of a floating window, there's a way you can minimize it further so that it can be a small, and this lets you work on the main application. And when you need the floating windows to be active, you tap on it and then Now let me show you what I'm talking about. And let's say I want to focus on the Bible application itself. So what you're supposed to do is use the bar on top and then move it on your screen. You should see a highlight on right. Just move it there and then it will be minimized to a size where it doesn't disrupt the user experience of the main application. Okay, I can use the Bible, I can go to the profile, I can do all that, right? The only time that I need to use the notepad is when I'll tap on that mini window and then I can write some notes maybe. Okay, just like that. Now let's say you want to fully focus on the application, the notepad itself, and leave the Bible app as a mini window. Basically what you do, move the mini window on the center of your screen and then you will see these open floating windows. Put it there and then there will be a switch. The notepad is the main app and then the mini window is the Bible application, and that's how you switch between those two applications. Besides the mini window, you can try to resize the floating window to be in between the standard size and the mini window. Is grab any corner of the floating windows and then minimize it, push it in between, and then you'll find the size that you want. After it reaches that size, you can write anything that you want there, but in a way that it doesn't disrupt the user experience, right? You can make the floating window bigger than the standard size. Now this is the standard size. I can try to maximize further. You simply need to long press of the four corners of the floating windows. And then if I maximize it further, you see it will be a bigger size than the standard size. To activate this sidebar and floating windows, you simply need to go back to your settings and reverse whatever you had done. You go to the additional settings and then go back to the floating windows feature. You tap on the sidebar and then you toggle off this sidebar. Or you can simply use the search bar on your settings and then search on the side. Search on it, click on the sidebar, and then if it's on, you toggle off. And that is it. That is how to use the floating windows on Android. Now, besides the floating window, there is something called the split screen. We did a video on that. Make sure that you check that video out. You should see it somewhere on your screen, or it will be attached on the video description. And that's it, guys. Be productive and see you on the next one.